Alright, here we are. Working away, getting there done. So, I've been insulating the underside of this mobile home floor. And now I gotta get this piece to go. All the way into that corner. I can only do what I can do. Because what we're going to use to hold it in place is the actual plastic we're going to be tacking to the top here. So we got 10.5. That's pretty tight. Maybe 25 inches out of this one. Want it a little bit bigger, that way you get a nice pressure fit on the insulation. Now we get a good R12 there, and that way when we run the pan up, it'll fit nicely. So now I gotta cut 2 more pieces for the other side. I'm gonna try to stuff it in there. I'm not gonna be able to get the poly all the way to that corner, but I can definitely get it closer. Grab another. I like to cut 2 at a time. At least that way I know it's accurate. Just line it up. Make a mark. Then compress it with a piece of wood or something straight from mark to mark. And then when you cut through, it should be nice and perfect. And that one can go over there. And this one. This one's going to be interesting. Because I can't get under the closet. So I gotta use my framing square to lay on my belly and try to get it in place the best I can. I should get that cavity somewhat nicely insulated. So there's a beam between the floor. This way, we're going to poly up, and then that'll stay behind the poly. It'll stop it from falling out. And then we'll throw the blowing insulation on top in the pan over here. But I can only poly to here and then leave the other stuff until they want to take out this closet, fix the rest of the floor, and kind of go from there. So that's going to quiet everything down. Oh, yeah, so I just put all the insulation in there and then along there. So now, as we're working our way to the back, I gotta kind of clean this floor now. Or should I just put the poly in? Yeah, but I don't want all this dust. The reason why I gotta keep it clean is because when I go to take the two polys together, because there's already one here. There's already one row of poly here. We still gotta fold it up underneath that what do you call it? That vent over there. We already did it on this side here. And now we got another roll to go down all the way across and then up and stapled to the wall. So that's basically where we're at right now. We've already done all the poly and the floor joists. And so that's how the whole floor is going to get tied in together. So for now, I think what we're going to do, we'll move this camera. Just because, actually I don't really need to move the camera. I'm going to finish cutting a couple more pieces that'll fit in between the beam there. We're going to need this on this end and that end. Alright. We got our pieces. And then we got our strips. I could probably stuff this under the vent too. But for now, I gotta get this area cleaned up a little bit. Now, I probably should take off there's a lot of overhang on these pans. Okay, now that I've got that done, roughly, I gotta start to basically put that pan in underneath. So I guess for now I can move this plywood back over. That was a good sneeze. Might just be easier. There's so much stuff to constantly move, it's crazy. And that's what makes all of this difficult. So now we're gonna work on sliding that piece in behind. In behind the floor. So I'm gonna move the camera yet again. Give you guys a little bit of a better view here. This is just from the other side, right? All right. Gotta kind of move this, open this plastic a little bit here on this side. That way I can try to fun. It's gonna be fun. That's nicely insulated there. Alright, we got that far. All that to move the plywood just so I could do that. I gotta kind of leave that open because I still need to run a piece going this way. And then this one is pretty good. Just pull that over underneath. And that over up top. can probably put some of the 2x6 stuff in there. So it's pretty much ready to go. So I can go from there all the way back. And just quickly vacuum that out. And there's just so many steps to be done here that make completing this a bit of work. One thing I also noticed when working on this was that double wasn't nailed very well, so we're just going to throw a few more nails in it before we cover this area up. It's shooting through the poly. I should have remembered to do that. And on both sides. We used to have a squeak there, but we were able to tighten that up. That's pretty amazing. Where I have to cut, I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm going to have to cut each one of these. Oh, I guess it'll fit. I could leave it like that, really. I guess it'll fit. Okay, what I'm going to have to do is put these pieces in, move plywood over, Then do the other stuff. Then move the plywood over. And then properly open the bag this time. That way you can use it as a opens like a flower. So this is R20 insulation. 15-inch on center. Okay, the best way. I wanted to keep it in the bag, but this is the best way to remove it from the bag. Is to do that. It actually fits perfect. You don't want it scrunched up too much. You just want it pressed in place. So it's challenging. This one I got a pipe running here. And I want to get this insulation to go around it. So I'm going to kind of split it in half to about where the pipe is ending. There's a bottom opening there. It's actually over here. Run that half split around the pipe. Back there. This one here. That's nice, perfect. This one we're going to have to cut because I'm pretty sure it's a little bit smaller. Like you don't want to press insulation in there. Like it overhangs. You know, we might actually be able to get away with that. We might actually be we kind of make an arch in it. Yeah, that one we could do a little magic like that. But insulation does work better if it's not crunched in like that. So it might actually cut that. I gotta cut like an inch off of it. So look, I'll show you what I did with the pipe and how I basically split it and then covered the pipe. This way it can it won't freeze. It'll be warm. But that guy, I'm gonna cut it. It's just how you do a good job, really. And what I do is I will basically rest it in the hole, like so, and then I will just get my knife, because you can feel it. Because you're running along the top of the 2x6, so that takes off just enough so that the insulation is kind of puffy and not just smashed in there. What I mean by that, see how this one sits nice and and flat? That's what you want. I could actually almost, because I feel like this joist over here is oversized by a very little bit. This one at the end. So I might just slide this strip in here. I might just put it right beside, like so. Give it that extra little bit. Just to make sure it fits nicely. See? There, so now I got that insulated. And I can slide this plywood back now. Man, it's so much work just moving plywood. Just work moving plywood. Move the plywood back, move the plywood forward. And that's why we did the pans, because it was to basically stop any leakage and keep it in the trailer. And now that floor is going to stay warmer. So now we got to move the vacuum again. We are going to need it though, that's for sure. The good thing about this insulation is it has acoustical properties. So it will deaden the sound, and you can kind of hear when you walk. Even though the plywood's loose, you can feel that it's a little more dense. Like, listen to the difference. On the one that the camera's on, like, it deadens the sound for sure. More than like. Okay, so we're gonna move this guy to here. We can always kind of go back here a little bit. We'll slide this plywood over, vacuum out these cavities, and throw the insulation in. Why is it giving me a hard time? That works. Some nails. Vacuum doesn't like sucking up nails. Is getting heavy, I can tell you. This vacuum bag in this thing has definitely done its job. Usually if you use a stick, it's nicer, it's easier to put this stuff in. You can use all kinds of stuff, more or less. You wanna just press it in on the sides. And then make sure the edges are nice and tight to the exterior wall. This was another reason why I worked on making sure that the spacing between the joists were exact. And if they weren't, I was just trying to fix them the best way I could. Danger, danger, danger. I'm gonna cut the last one. We got 13 inches. So like I said before, just do a notch. You always make it bigger, right? This is 12 and a half. So I could probably actually go, let me just make a double check. Like 12 and a half. I go 13 and a half, 1 inch bigger than what it normally is. So we're really just taking out like the distance of a stud. 13 and a half. take your flat edge and just line up your marks. And that will be your cutting guide. There's your piece. And now that's going to fit in there nicely. Now that's nicely insulated. A little bit of excess plastic here. I'm just going to stop some leakage, this plastic we put in. Which is basically what we're trying to do. Just make it as efficient as possible. And it's still going to kind of breathe because there is a little bit on the sides, but at least now it's better than what it was. Basically a perfect stud distance. Now what's crazy is like, listen to the sound difference on this floor. Listen to the sound difference once we slide this over. You're going to hear a huge difference. We're not shooting this down yet, but why is this giving me such a headache now? Oh yeah, it's 2x4 on the inside. Listen how dead the sound is now. Alright, now that's on. That's insulated. The sides are insulated. Back wall is kind of insulated. We got to now put the plastic pan in over here. Oh, so much work. Move the vacuum again for the 20th time. I'm wondering what time is it. Oh, it's already 8:26. I think it's time to go. It's already too late. It's already too late. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'm going to end the live because I'm not going to work on the plastic pan. It's already 8:30. By the time I put all this stuff on, I'm leaving here at 9, back home at 10 again. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. And stay authentic, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.